Good afternoon and welcome to Finance Fridays. My name is Don Daniel and I'm the author and CEO of the P.I.L.L Method. We're going to be talking today about case studies. We're going to be telling stories about how people have dealt with their finances in the past and how they're doing it now in the present, and um, what you might be able to do in a different way, just thinking about your finances in a different way. So we're going to wait a few minutes for a few more people to come on board. And when you come in to the program, please click share so more and more people will know about this fabulous show. We have a book out that we'll be talking about a little bit later. And we have thousands upon thousands of individuals who have benefited from the P.I.L.L method and the P.I.L.L method's opportunity cost calculator over the years. So we're glad to be here with you today, and we're going to be sharing some fabulous stories. But right now, let's go ahead and put um, our book up on the screen, and let me share this. All right, there we go. All right. So the book is doing very well on Amazon. I do appreciate everyone who has been supporting the book and going ahead and doing a review. So if you have the book and you've read the book and you haven't done a review, I encourage you to go to Amazon and write that review. We're looking at trying to get to a #1 bestseller. And if we get that badge, a lot more people will be able to hear this information. Let me tell you why we exist. The P.I.L.L method stands for prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, leverage, and liquidity. We're going to be telling you things that you will not learn anywhere else. The finance gurus can't tell you. You won't get this information from your accountant, from your banker, or any of the finance gurus on TV or on radio, because this information has to do with understanding how a amortization schedule actually works and how to read it, how banks make their money, how they charge interest, and how you can cut your interest cost by 50 to 75%, thus paying off all of your debt in an average of 7 to 9 years. It is a fantastic weapon when it comes to managing debt and killing that interest. Let's see, you see, the simple thing is the more interest you pay, the longer you stay in debt. The more interest you eliminate or cancel, you get out of debt faster. It's not about throwing money indiscriminately at your debt or coming up with more cash. What it is if you want to get out of debt, pay less interest. You don't need more money. And the great thing about this is you can do it without changing your budget or sacrificing lifestyle. Go ahead, get the book on Amazon, tell your friends about it, share it, give it away for Christmas gifts. This book will change your life. It's the only book on this particular subject in the world, interest cancellation, and optimize interest cancellation at that, using technology. Our artificial intelligence is second to none. Nothing beats this program in saving you interest. Therefore, it can get you out of debt fast. Now, what good is getting out of debt fast if you don't get out of debt cheap? If it costs you more in interest than you should be paying? You see, you can't optimize what you can't measure. We show you how to measure. So go ahead and get the book and review the book. And I guarantee, oh, if you go to our website, the Pill Method website, we're still giving away a free budgeting spreadsheet if you get the book. So get the book, get your receipt number, and input it on our website. That's thepillmethod.com, and you'll be able to download a free budgeting spreadsheet. I think you're going to like it. So remember, get the book, go to our website, get the free gift for buying the book. And if you get, oh, don't forget about if you get the paperback, we're also giving you a discount on the Kindle or the digital book as well. So you can get half off the digital book, the Kindle, if you buy the paperback, and then you can give the Kindle away as a gift. So, well, and there are some people who like to have both. They like to have the paperback because they like the way that feels. They like to have the Kindle for convenience, especially if they're traveling. Okay, let's go ahead and get into today's studies. I'm going to start with a PowerPoint here. And I've been asked to go over this part again. It's called down payment deception. And then we're going to go in a little deeper in understanding why the interest is cost us so much money and we don't even realize it. So let me get that on the screen for you. And this one is called down payment deception. And this is a true story. All right, so let's go ahead and get that up. And here we go. Do a new share. There we are. All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right, now the neighbor that lived across the street from me for years moved to a different neighborhood and was building a $400,000 home. And I've got some notes here. $400,000 home, and is an engineer, and he thought he would go ahead and put $100,000 down on a $400,000 mortgage. So let's get into it. All right. And so this is what he wanted to do. He was building a $400,000 home. He asked if he should put $100,000 down so he could finance $300,000 instead of $400,000 over 30 years at 3%. So this is what I told him. You really ought to get the $400,000 loan at 3% and get a 30-year mortgage. That's the way to go. And he said, well, why? Why do that? And we put a comparison up on the screen right here for you. On the left side is the $400,000 loan. On the right side is the $300,000 loan. And this is some of the things that he pointed out to me. At $400,000, the principal and interest payment on that loan, the very first payment, is $1,686.42. Now, with the $300,000 loan, the payment is only $1,264.81. Well, so far, he's wondering, well, if I have the extra $100,000, why not just put it down as a down payment and have this lower payment? Not only that, but anytime you finance a house, so every time you get a loan for a house, you have to go in and sign the papers. That's the closing. And when you go to the closing, they have to disclose to you how much interest you would have to pay if you kept the loan for 30 years. So in this case, on the $400,000 loan, it's $207,111.20. On the $300,000 loan, it's $155,331.60. Again, he's pointing out why why do the $400,000 loan when I could do the $300,000 loan and save. But here is the tip, what is called the total interest paid as a percentage of principal. As you can see, they're practically the same on both loans. So here's the thing. Banks make money on the percentages. They don't really care how much the payment is. If your payment is $10 and the bank gets 9 of it, they're quite happy. So here's what we're talking about. We're talking about getting a return on an investment. So if I can make a 51% return on my investment, that is great. And that's what the bank is talking about. Okay. So let me show you how this goes on to help out the bank. So here's the difference in the payment. So the difference in the interest paid between the $400,000 and the $300,000 mortgage is this. We take the $207,111.20 and subtract the $155,331.60. It is $51,779.60. There it is. It says now I get to save $51,000 if I do the if I put a down payment on this mortgage. So why would I want to pay an extra $51,000? I said, you don't. No one would. But look at your first payment here. Payment number one, $686.42 goes to principal, while $1,000 goes to interest. Look at that, folks. Column one is what you pay for, is your principal payment. Column two is interest. So when we talk about a mortgage payment, mortgage has to do with the money you borrowed. So technically, the mortgage payment is in column one because this is the money you borrowed. Column two is not mortgage payment because you didn't borrow that money. This I call rent on your money. $1,000 rent. The next month, it drops all the way down to $998.28. The difference between the 1,000 and the $998.28 goes over to the principal. And that's how your payment remains the same every month. The amount of money that you save on the interest goes over to principal, and it keeps shifting like that all the way down 360 payments. It's a different configuration of principal and interest, but it adds up to the same payment every single month. So here's what I told them. If you have the $400,000 mortgage and you make this payment, $686.42 of that first payment goes to principal, and you're left with $399,313.58 to pay. And that point, I asked him, where is your $100,000? He says, my $100,000 is still in the bank. I said, could you now prepay $100,000? Could you send $100,000 along with your first payment? He says, well, yeah, I guess I could. Let's see what happens. Now apply the $100,000 to principal and see what happens, folks. This is fantastic. If you're following an amortization schedule, it takes you all the way down to line 125 on your amortization schedule. How about that? Line 120 is 10 years. Okay, that's 10 years. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10 years, 5 months gone. Look at that. And how much interest did we save immediately? $110,226.84. I know some of you are falling off your chairs right now on the floor. The same money that was going to save him $51,000 over a 30-year period is now saving him $110,000 in interest he'll never have to pay in just 1 month. And he's all the way down. He's knocked off over 10 years off his loan in the first month with the same money. So why have a $300,000 loan for the next 30 years when you could have a $300,000 loan for the next 19? How about that? Same money, way different result. So here's what we have. By applying the $100,000 as a prepayment instead of a down payment on your $400,000 mortgage, you save $110,000 in interest and eliminates 10 years, 3 months of payments. 10 years, 3 months gone of payments, just like that. How about it? Now, if you like what you're seeing here, go ahead and email me at info@thepillmethod.com and let me know what you're thinking. Or go right online here and tell us what you're thinking about this. And go ahead and share this information with other folks. Okay. Now, let's talk about what is happening. What else is happening? You can continue to use the P.I.L.L method after you put this money down as a prepayment. Well, watch this. He will pay the rest of the loan off in just 7 years by using the P.I.L.L method's opportunity cost calculator to plug in all of his finances, and then the calculator will let him know exactly what to do, how much money to move, what day to move it on, what month to move it in, which loan to apply it to, because he had a car loan and student loans and some credit cards. So we put it all in, and now he's going to be out of debt in just 7 years. And the amount of interest he's going to pay on the whole thing is just $30,000 on his entire debt load. Folks, you can't get that anywhere else. This is fantastic stuff. If you'd like to get a free savings report, go to the website and request one. We'll talk to you, get your information, we'll plug it in, and make sure that you get a free savings report telling you how much interest you can save and see how fast you can knock out that debt without hardly sweating, and you don't have to sacrifice lifestyle. You can still go on vacation. You can still have fun. You can still go out. You do not have to live a restricted life. You are supposed to be living an abundant life. And you could do that if someone else, or if we help you to do the math so that you don't have to pay all that interest. Okay, so here we go. Now, I'm this guy, I'm his new best friend. We were neighbors, but now I'm his new best friend. And so listen, folks, this is what we get to do. We get to build relationships here at the P.I.L.L method, having a great time sharing little known information with individuals. All right. So again, here's what we want to ask. When does it make sense to you to stop building the bank's fortune and start building your family's financial legacy? I think even if I can't hear you right now, I believe you would be saying yesterday, we need to start building our family's legacy now. I talk to so many people that we save them so much money in interest they don't have to pay. And then I get to ask them, that extra interest we're saving you, what if you did pay that to the bank? What is the bank going to do with that? They say, well, the bank's going to invest it. So if you save it, could you invest it for yourself? Compound interest over the next 19 years for this particular gentleman after he's out of debt will net him another $2 million in savings. And that is at like 2 or 3% return on his investment. And I'm sure he can get more than that. All right. So if you work with our investment team, we're going to talk to you in terms of 7% return on your investment over the life of your investment. So when you're ready to retire, taking that money you would have paid to interest, now you can add it to your own bottom line. This is what we're talking about. 500,000, 700,000, 900,000, $1 million. It all depends on what's going on in your finances, but I guarantee you this, you would be able to use that money a lot better for you than paying it to the bank. Why? You don't have to now. You can live well, get out of debt in an average of 7 to 9 years, take that money and invest it for yourself. Okay, so putting a little bit of information up here on the screen. Give us a call at 256-886-1867 and email me or go to the website and request a free savings report. So here's story number 2. And I think you're going to like this one too. Most people don't think about this, but this has to do with interest consumption. How much interest are you consuming each month? If you don't know how much interest you're consuming, then you can't put together a plan to effectively deal with debt. The P.I.L.L method is all about making sure that we know how much interest you're consuming, and then we can put a plan together, cut your interest cost by about 75%. So let's take a look at what happens here. Okay, a typical family, their net income for the month is $47,1610, $4,716.10 monthly. Typical family here. Okay. The average family has about 13 different debts across the country. The average family, and it's not hard to do. You know, you have a mortgage, you have a couple of cars, maybe some student loans and some credit cards. It adds up fast. So 13 is average, but by no means does that mean that you're struggling. Some people are, they make great money and they're paying their bills and they're not struggling whatsoever, but they have no idea how much is actually going out in interest. Let me put something on the screen here for you. Okay, so here is a mortgage payment. Now, this is at a $200,000 mortgage. Where's my notes? Okay, $200,000 mortgage, I believe, and it's at 4.125% over 30 years. Payment is $926.23, where we have $301.23 going to principal, $625 going to interest. Then we have a car loan. Payment is $315. $256.65 of that goes to principal. $55.11 goes to interest. Then we have 3 student loans. Here are payments on the student loans. Okay. And here are the interest, principal and interest payments on the student loans. And so do you see how the interest is beginning to add up? Then there's 5 credit cards, okay? Payments, interest, and so we add that on. The total interest, just the interest portion, I'm not adding up the entire payment, just the interest portion for this particular family is $1,811.77. When we do the math, their interest only payment of $1,188.77 is 38.42% of their net income of $47,1610. These folks were shocked to see this. I have clients that border on 50% of their net income pays interest alone, and they're not even feeling it. They don't even realize it. Then when we come and when we meet with them and we help them to see that they can cut their interest cost by 50%, oh my goodness, don't they love it? All right. And if we can get it all the way to 75%, it's even more love for the P.I.L.L method. So we exist to make sure that people are aware of this type of information, and so that they will know that they don't have to continue to pay debt like this. If you would like to come on our show and tell your story, ask questions, go ahead and email me. We'd love to have you. Because we're using Zoom, we can have you on the show right here with us at 3 p.m. on Fridays. Come on out and send me a request and let's talk a little bit. Sometimes my throat gets dry because this kind of thing, I'm doing all the talking. I would love to have a guest, or maybe you can suggest somebody we could have on the program. I would love to have you on, or someone that you suggest, so that we can have a dialogue about what's really going on with our finances. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look one more time at our contact information. Again, you can call, email, or go to the website and request information. Or if you'd like to come on the show, let us know. We'll be glad to have you. All right, so let's go to something else. I got something else exciting to share with you. And let me put this up on the screen. Okay, investors. All right, let me share this. Okay, I love working with real estate investors, and this is a situation we had not too long ago. All right, so let's take a look at what we have here as far as dealing with investors. Here is we have several mortgages, and with this first mortgage at 4.25%, after 251 payments, we have a principal reduction of $150,150.98. So they actually paid this loan down by $150,000. But look at the amount of interest that they paid to do that. $183,423. That's a lot of interest. Okay, so on the next mortgage, we have, after 157 payments, $32,534 went to principal, $96,000 went to interest. On the third mortgage, $49,000 went to principal, $100,000 went to interest. This loan is at 5%. And what the bank is looking for over 30 years is 93% of the money borrowed paid back in the form of interest. And at the 6% loan here, they want 115.838%. They want more money in interest than they borrowed in principal. Look at that. 115.838%. That's what 6% becomes. So we have another 6% loan. Look at this. $16,000 in principal paid in 216 payments. Look at that. 216 payments and only $16,000 went to principal, while $57,000 went to interest. Folks, how can we ever get ahead paying interest like this? How are we going to do that? So let's look at the next one. After 118 payments, $142,973 to principal, $269,000 going to interest. And we have a primary mortgage here. And in the first 47 months, we have $24,000 going to principal, $56,000 going to interest. So we projected this one out 5 years. And at the 5-year mark, this loan will pay off, will have a principal reduction of $32,000. The interest cost would be $71,000. Folks, right now, in the time that this particular investor had these properties, they've already paid out $1,179,038.45. And the principal benefit, the potential equity, is $415,846 and a penny. Most times people look at the equity that they have, but they don't look at the interest. So here is what I'm saying. The total interest cost on the loan so far is $763,192.44. If we can get $415,000 in equity, my question is, should it cost $763,000 in interest just to get it? Come on, there's got to be a better way than this. And what I'm trying to tell you, folks, it most certainly is a better way. So let's look at what the lenders want on these mortgages from the day we met with this particular investor. From that day forward, the bank wanted an additional $651,144.54 to pay off the loans. Let me scroll down here. Let's take a look at the side by side, and it'll blow you away. Here we have a total indebtedness of $1,292,000. Bank wants us to pay that off over 26.2 years at an interest cost of $651,141.54. Most investors really aren't thinking about this because the tenants pay the mortgages on these houses. And so they're not really thinking about it. But what if we don't treat that interest as the cost of doing business anymore? What if we can cut that interest cost in half or better? Oh my gosh, we can do a lot. So 651,000, we can cut it down to 236,000, a 75% reduction here, and an interest savings of $419,991.07, paying off the same amount of debt, $1,292,000, and doing it in 7.6 years without sacrificing lifestyle. By using math, by using interest cancellation, you can pay off these loans just like this, saving all of that interest. It is not necessary to pay that interest anymore. You can do this. Instead of 30 years, 7.6. So Here's my question. If we can save $419,991.07, and most people are paying that, because let me tell you, 9 out of 10 people that you know, 90% of the people you know will never pay off their mortgage. Most people will pay all of the interest that's due and more, because some will refinance once, twice, 3 times, 4 times along the way before they're ever even begin to think about paying off the loan. So Americans don't have 30-year loans. Americans have a string of 5 to 7-year loans until they die. We can do something about that. Get out of debt easily, efficiently, save a ton of interest, and then turn around and invest it for yourselves, turning it into a million or multiple millions of dollars for your family's legacy. How would you like to be able to do that? Go ahead, contact us. I think you're going to like what you hear, and we'll be able to do this. And people ask me all the time, Don, well, what do you charge? Well, we don't charge for consultation. Consultation is free. The savings report is free. And so, well, how do we pay for the program? How do we pay for the coaching? How do we pay for the opportunity cost calculator? Out of the interest savings the bank was supposed to get, but now they're not. How about that? We get a fraction of the interest savings. You get to keep the rest. It's a win-win-win for everybody with this situation. All right? So what else do we have for you? I got a few more minutes here. What I thought I'd talk about in our last piece is how people will pay, they'll get these interest-free credit cards. You borrow money and for the next 12 months, and people want to pay them off before the free period ends, so that they can avoid the interest. Just for today, before we go today, let me talk about that for a little bit, and then we'll wrap things up until next week. So let me get that on the screen here, okay? So let me do that, pull this down, and rid of that. All right. All right, there we are. We're going to pull that up, and we're going to do a new share. Okay, and there we are. All right, I hope you can see that. And it should be, let me look at my other screen here. We'll see how that comes up. I think it's going to come up just fine. All right. There we go. All right, great. Now, what we're going to put in here is a $10,000 purchase on a credit card at, and so that because they got it at 0%, okay, at 0%, and over, let's see, 60 months, that would be 5 years, okay, payment would be $166.67, okay, $166.67. That would be the minimum payment, but of course it wouldn't pay off in the first year. So let me show you. So I was talking to a gentleman about this. They wanted to be able to pay off that $10,000 before the year was out so that they could avoid the interest. And I said, well, how much interest are you trying to avoid? And they said 17%. I said, well, that's the interest rate. How much interest in dollars and cents are you trying to avoid? And they said, well, I don't know. I said, well, let's try to figure it out. I had them call, I think it was Home Depot or Lowe's. I can't remember which. It was one of those types of big box stores. But let's go ahead and do the math ourselves. Here's 17%. Okay, we take that payment out of there, 17%. And if we take a look at this, the first interest payment at 17% is $248.53. So if you're not careful, you're going to pay the accrued interest. Since we're not bringing down the principal very much, then the accrued interest can be quite expensive. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of an experiment here. This is not the way it works, but I want to do a huge number at the outside. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take the $248.53 and we're going to pretend that that number will not go down for 1 year, even though they're making payments every month. And as you make payments, you bring down the principal, obviously you're going to pay less interest, but let's pretend we don't. All right, so let me put calculator on the screen. And I guess I got to do a new share for you to see the calculator. Okay, there we are. All right, so now we have calculator on the screen. Let me see if it comes up. I got to check my other computer here, make sure everything is coming up. All right, so $248.53. So we go 248.53. Now, the very first month you put debt on a credit card, you don't pay interest. So if we do this for 1 year, if we do a calculation for 1 year, the first month we don't pay anything. So we can only calculate for 11 months. So we want to do 11 months times 2,400, $248.53. So let's multiply that by 11. So that's $2,733.83. So that's what he was trying to avoid. That is a lot of money. But let me go ahead and do something else for you. We want to show you, let me get this out of the way. All right, and bring Brett Whistle up again. Get rid of that, get rid of that. Okay, now this particular family had a $450,000 mortgage. Okay, 450,000. Okay, 450,000. Excuse me, at 4.125. All right, for 30 years. Let's take a look at that. So, and here's the payment, $2,180.92. So what I was saying is, instead of, here's what you really want to focus on. Do we want to focus so much on the credit card and avoiding that amount of interest that we don't pay attention to anything else? We're rushing to pay off a credit card because they have a moratorium. It's interest only. Let's go ahead and pay that off. And most people have no idea how much interest they're trying to avoid. But let me show you what would happen if we took that $10,000 and applied it to this mortgage. Look what $10,000 does here. from payment number one, here's your cumulative principal. You see your principal amounts here? If we add them up here, this program adds them up for you, okay? And we go down to about $10,000 in cumulative principal. That knocks off 16 payments off this mortgage and saves how much money in interest, folks? That's $24,484.21 minus the $1,500 we pay on line one. Okay, that is a tremendous savings. Okay, 20. Let's see, it's 9, let's see, 10,000, 24,000. Okay, 23, $22,000 in interest saved if we apply that $10,000 to this mortgage. So versus this. So here's my question. Let me bring back up my calculator here. Put that back on the screen. And there we go. Now, let me ask you, would you pay $2,700 in order to save $24,000? So, folks, this just giving you an idea. This is not exactly how we go about it, but what we want to do is make you aware of not being so hyper-focused in one area that we miss opportunities in other areas. Do all of the math. Get with a system that's going to help you to pay off all of the debt in a reasonable amount of time and save you thousands upon thousands in interest by showing you exactly when to apply the money, exactly in what increments, exactly in the month and day of the month we do it on, and we will calculate for you your interest savings. So I hope these stories helped you understand a little bit about what we're doing and why we're doing it. Listen, I've had a great time with you. Again, make sure that, let me go ahead and put this back up on the screen. And for our, the last thing that we're showing here, do a new share. Okay, there we are. Make sure you get the book and give some away as gifts. If you get the paperback, remember you get a discount on the digital that you can give away. You can also, if you have a church or a social organization, you could also invite the P.I.L.L method to come in to do seminars, and we can use we can use the book as a textbook. Listen, folks, this information is powerful. There's nothing like it on the planet. There's only one book like this in the world that explains how this interest cancellation works and how optimally how you can save interest optimally by using a computer system specifically designed to cancel as much interest as mathematically possible for your income. There's only one system like this in the world. And then we're going to turn around and show you how to take that interest savings and invest it for your family to build tens and hundreds and maybe even millions of dollars for your family's legacy, so that we can end this generational curse where we have very little to pass on to the next generation. Let's stop that. Let's put some money away so that your kids and your children's children can have a better life, because not only did you take care of your money so that your family can be taken care of, but you can pass this information on generation after generation. I want to thank you for being with us here at with Finance Fridays. The P.I.L.L method presents, And I hope you had a good time. I hope you learned some things. Share this information. We're going to upload this to YouTube. And once it's on YouTube, I want everybody to go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. And then we'll have more people to get this information and share this information. And pretty soon it will be around the world. Everybody needs to know how to cancel interest and how to build wealth. Thank you again, and we'll see you next week.